Hey guys, if you like the content, please be sure to like the videos and subscribe to the channel. Thanks. Quick reminder to check out this week's Mortar Pod, our video podcast, and also check out this week's Seems Good Magic card giveaway. Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and we're doing an 8-4 Theros block draft. We won our last draft, so we moved up to 8-4. Open Master of the Feast. I think we're going to take him. Hard to deny a 3-mana 5/5 flyer. It's a pretty big dude. Other cards I like in here. Spire Spine's awesome. Storm Chaser Chimera is very good. Quarry Colossus is good. So is the Petrifier. A lot of good playable cards in here. The weakest cards probably being Rotted Hulk, God Hunter Octopus. Even Rouse the Mob's playable in the right deck. Red-White Heroic, probably would love that. But yeah, let's take the Master of the Feast. It's pretty efficient. I could actually argue, there's a pretty good argument for the Spire Spine instead, but because this guy evades, I think we're just going Master. It's a pretty strong card. You slam a 5/5 on turn 3, they got to deal with him pretty quick. Alright, follow-up pick. Well, I've got my eye immediately on the Warwing Siren. It's definitely the strongest card in this pack. Deadbringer Lampads is on color, but I'd still rather have the Siren. I keep doing blue-black, but I don't see what else to really take in here. Kiora's Dismissal is okay too. But, yeah, I guess we're just going Siren. Taking the strong, heroic dude. Okay. So now I can take Nightmarish End, which is actual removal, or Hubris, which bounces. I think I actually like Nightmarish End more. I mean, there's times where you can't use it, but I like how it works. It's a good combat trick. Or removal spell. Either or. Works well in both regards. Swarmborn Giant is very good too, but let's take the Nightmarish End. Let's get some removal going. Oh wow, there's Eidolon of Great Revel. That guy's cool. I think we're just going to go with the Cast into Darkness, which is a spell I like quite a bit. Turn off blocker, as well as make it a weaker attacker. Very good card. I like it. So we'll take it here. Other notable cards, the Double Strike instant spell with Strive, that one's good. I love the Swift Claw. Cyclops of Eternal Fury. Yeah, plenty of good stuff. Taking Cast into Darkness. Okay, so choices now. We have Triton Cavalry, which bounces stuff if you target it. We have Cloaked Siren, which flies. And we have Cruel Feeding. I think we're more likely to see Cruel Feeding a little bit later for our Warwing Siren. For now, I think I'm cool with taking the Cloaked Siren. Alternatively, we can just take the Blade Tusk Boar and start going down the red path. Red typically is open. Red-black opens me up for Minotaurs, perhaps. I do like Cloaked Siren, though. Card is good. Very much like Cloaked Siren. I like Blade Tusk Boar, too, but they both have evasion. I've already got the Warwing Siren. I think I'm going to stick with the Cloaked Siren for now. Okay, so we can go Unblockable Dude, Cloaked Siren 2, Cast into Darkness number 2, Goldforged Sentinel. Not that impressed with that. Let's take the second Cloaked Siren. I'm cool with that. Let's go all evasion. I like that quite a bit, actually. I really like the Cloaked Siren, I think, mostly because it works so well with counterspells. You can either Cloaked Siren surprise block, or get a surprise attacker, or leave up your dissolve, or something like that. So, flash creatures in that regard. Very, very good. Okay. So now we can take Grim Guardian. Currently have 1, 2 enchantments. Not a ton, but this guy blocks the ground well, punishes for future auras. It's also Aerial Formation, which works well with Heroic, but this one it seems a bit redundant since we already have all flyers. Rise of Eagles is a good finisher as well, a card I like, but I'm going to take the Grim Guardian. Very likely play him. Okay, best card remaining in this pack, probably Dryads. Nothing on color for us really, but could just take the Font of Return and cut it. Not likely to play it, though. Class is cool, but whatever. I don't know. I guess I just hate the Dryads. I don't really like hating in Pack 1, but I just don't like Font of Return all that much. I've played against it, and my opponents have had some good value, but I'm not really sold on it. Guess we could take the Oppressive Raise or Armament. Let's take the Oppressive Raise, I guess. Not likely to play it, but... Alright, all of our guys evade, which makes the Lampads worse. Cura's Dismissal is an actual removal spell, but we could take the unblockable dude, too. We can be beat down evasion, perhaps. If we pick up any ordeals, the Shore Stalker just gets significantly better. I think I'm cool with that. I do like Dismissal, too, though. I'm going to take the Shore Stalker. Alright, I guess we can cut the Rotted Hulk. Not likely to play it. Cyclops is pretty decent, actually. I guess we'll take the Weaver. Sure, Lightning. Alright, so we may be battling some people for some blue and black, but I'm still pretty satisfied with Pack 1. Not the worst. I'm happy with these 8 cards. Alright, well, there's a Tromacratus. It's a good finisher. It's also Retraction Helix. Helix works much better with the Heroic, as does Eidolon. Archetype, a little bit redundant once again. I mean, it does still make our guys even more unblockable, which is fine. I could take the Tromacratus. It's a 7-drop, but 8/8 that must be blocked by everything is pretty good. It's a solid finisher. I don't think it's going to table. I do kind of want this Helix, though. I think this is probably better all around, especially with the evasion. We only need to get in a couple times. I think our deck's more conducive to not playing 7-drops. As much as I do like Tromacratus. I'm going to take the Helix. I want to be able to bounce and trigger Heroic. So we'll do that. And it's any non-land permanent too, which is definitely relevant. Alright. Now choices. I mean, this brings back Master of the Feast currently and Grim Guardian. Not a lot. I think at this point we can probably pretty safely take the Archetype. I don't see why not. Making all your guys unblockable, still pretty good. Even if all your guys already have evasion. I wish it was a little bit better in our deck, but I'm going to take it. Okay, well, I mean, Fated Return is cool. It's a little bit pricey. Marshmist Titan's cool, but usually goes a little bit later. Really not too terribly much for us here. Black Oak is a blocker. Could see it being okay. Stratus Walk seems redundant once again. Fellhide Brawler doesn't seem very good. Floodtide Serpent's okay. I mean, works reasonably well alongside Grim Guardian. And you can give it flying. It's just such an unexciting pick here. I mean, we could take the Fated Return. Gives you an unblockable instant speed blocker, potentially. It's okay. It's just not that great. Then again, there's just really nothing that great in here, so I guess we'll take Fated Return. I'm really not super thrilled about it, but that's okay. It's a powerful enough effect. Alright, here's a good reason to be blue-black. Easily taking Siren of the Silent Song. There's also Chorus of the Tides, which is perfectly fine in here, but yeah. Give us another flyer. Why not? Alright, Sudden Storm is just insane, so we're definitely taking that over the Shrike Harpy. Archetype, whatever, Necrobite, all that. Yeah, Sudden Storm is just nuts. Just a nuts card. Okay. So now we can go Hypnotist, which we don't have a lot of early games, so I could see that, but I think I'm actually going to take the Shrike Harpy. Not that it's a particularly good card, but it's, you know, it flies, it has removal. It seems to fit the overall arc of our deck a little bit better than the Hypnotist, who's kind of an unexciting 2-drop. Okay. I think we can take Eternity Snare here. This is an actual removal spell, believe it or not. Because this is a bestow format, I really do like the Eternity Snare. I think it's good. Certainly good enough to be played in this format. Okay, we can take Nullify here. This is going to work really well alongside the Cloaked Sirens. Like I said, the counterspell alongside the blue flash creatures is very good. Gives you more options. Alright, well, we tabled archetype number 2, but we're going to go Eidolon since we're short in the 2-drop department, and this doubles as a nice heroic triggerer, as well as just stick it on a flyer and get in for bigger. I like it. Alright, now we can take Crypsis. I actually like this card a lot. It's a combat trick for sure, so we'll take it. Very playable. I mean, theoretically, we could take the Marshmist Titan, but I think I'm actually going to take the Black Oak. I could see me wanting this if I need some more, because we've got our Air Force, you know, pretty much on lockdown. So playing Black Oak would at least give me a good ground blocker alongside the Grim Guardian. I think Cyclops is better than Giant, so I'll take that. Drifters, we'll take it. Likely not play it, but I'll take it. Claim, I don't think we're playing that either. Typically don't, but we'll see. So far, so good. We need 3 cards to make a deck. I think I'd still prefer to cut the Fated Return and the Black Oak if we could. Ooh, Hero's Downfall. Gray Merchant too, jeez. We're going to take Hero's Downfall, but there's just all sorts of good cards in here for us. Merchant, Omen Speaker, Wavecrash Triton. Downfall is instant speed removal that deals with planeswalkers, and it's worth tickets, though. Maybe not a lot nowadays. Actually, I'm kind of curious. What is Downfall worth these days? Yeah, it's not worth anything anymore. Wow. Still pretty solid removal spell, though. I do like Gray Merchant a lot. Very good with Fated Return. Does seem to fit in fairly well with the theme of our deck, but if you look at our removal, what do we got? Helix, Nullify, Nightmarish End. We don't have like a Sudden Storm. Our removal kind of sucks actually for being in blue-black. I'm going to take the Downfall. It's worth a ticket as well as being a pretty solid removal spell. It is disappointing that it's in the same pack as the Gray Merchant. I would very much like to first pick that or the Wavecrash Triton, but don't know what to say. Okay, we can take Temple of Deceit, help the mana base. Otherwise, it's just Mogasi's Marauders, which seems unnecessary in here. Breaching Hippocamp, which is okay, but probably unnecessary. I guess he's okay. He's fine. Yeah, let's take the Temple. I like Scrying. I like it being completely on color with us. Okay, now we can take Harpy. There's also Baleful Eidolon, but yeah, we're going to take the Harpy. It flies. I think it's better than the Drifters. Boon and Baleful would both be nice, and Read the Bones, but I like me some Insatiable Harpy. Alright, now we can easily take Baleful Eidolon. There's also Voyage's End, though, which is very good. I think I'd rather have the Death Toucher that bestows, I think. It's a little more... It's cooler with, like, Crypsis and stuff. I think that's the right choice. I think so. It's a tough call. I am short on removal, but this is kind of removal. I've just been generally overall, my impression of Baleful Eidolon is I've been very pleased with it every time I play it. Usually does some good work. Alright. Triton Fortune Hunter would be cool if I had more ways to target it. Currently it's Helix, Crypsis, possibly Sudden Storm. There's just not enough. So this isn't a Fortune Hunter deck. This is, however, a Dissolve deck, since we've got the double Siren. So we can play a little bit of a counter spell-y sort of thing. We could also take the Disciple, which would definitely make sense. We've got a very fair amount of black stuff going on. I think I'm going to go with Dissolve, though. I'd rather do the counter flash idea. Still works well with Sudden Storm as well. Or Helix. We've got a fair amount of... I like our options. I like keeping our options open on our opponent's turn, so I'm going to take the Dissolve. Okay, Fleshmad Steed's a creature, not a particularly impressive one. Colossus is too expensive. Let's cut the Fated Return now. I think we're off that plan. This is 23 cards, so I'd have to upgrade something here. What's the weakest card? Probably Black Oak. But am I going to take a Steed over it? I think I'm just going to take the Steed for sideboard. There's a lot of quick decks in this format, so having a 2-drop can be very valuable. Wow, Griptide. We're going to take that over the second Dissolve. Griptide's just a great spell. I love Griptide. Very much like it in this deck as well. I wouldn't actually mind the double Dissolve, but I think that's, once again, unnecessary. Let's take the Griptide. Let's cut the Drifters. Prescient Chimera is another flyer. We're short on creatures. I'm cool with that. Let's take the Prescient Chimera and cut the Black Oak. Get us even more flyers. Dark Betrayal would be cool too, but I'm definitely on board with Prescient Chimera. Alright, Wavecrash Triton would be good if we had, once again, more ways to target it. Helix, Crypsis, Baleful, Nyxborn. Well, I guess maybe I have more than I thought. 4. Possibly Sudden Storm, but that doesn't make sense. Does the same thing. Yeah, I guess. Could also take the Phalanx, which is a good blocker. Sadly, I think Phalanx is better for our deck. We just don't have a ton of ways to target the Triton. Usually I would just slam Triton, but we just really don't have a lot of ways to target it. It seems like I'd rather have a 3-3 beater mid to late game rather than a 1-4 little wall. I don't know. Might be wrong. I'm not sure. Let's take Grave Dissolution. Let's take the Last Breath. I'm going to hate the 2-headed Cerberus. That thing's pretty good. Oops. I'm going to take the Sable. I guess we could take the Triton too. They're both pretty good sideboards. We have a lot of 3 already, I guess. Sable could... No, let's take the Triton. I'm on board with that. We're not going to play him main deck either way. A Null is actually a pretty good late game pickup as well. Alright, so I definitely like the deck. I don't even know if I've ever gotten this many flyers before. It's pretty insane. Flyers or evasive guys. Just not 100% sure we're a Grim Guardian deck yet either. Just because, at least main deck, just because we're pretty short on enchantment permanents. Alright, let's make a deck. I don't think we have to main deck that, though it is perfectly fine. I think we're main decking that. Admittedly, the archetype looking less good. Just not enough non-flyers to really justify it. This is 23. We need to have that guy too, and let's not forget our temple. Okay, so this is 24. Separate out spells. Enchantment permanents for Grim Guardian. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Does count itself. 5, 6. 6 is pretty short. And then it's just a 3-mana 1/4 blocker, which is not that good. Archetype does seem redundant in this deck, I admit. Yeah, I think I'm going to cut the Archetype. Now the reason is I want to keep my curve relatively low. I did just say Grim Guardian's not super impressive in here, which is true, but Archetype I think is also pretty unimpressive, and there's just times with decks like this you just can't afford to play a 6 mana 2 toughness guy. It's just, yes, it lets you go over the top, but like I said, our entire deck goes over the top anyway. If you look at the sheer amount of evasive or flying guys we have, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 guys that just on their own already evade. Really seems pointless to play the Archetype just to make their flyers unable to block. You know, maybe it's a good sideboard card if you have an opponent that's also got a ton of flyers. I could definitely see the argument for that, but I think main deck, let's keep our curve a little bit lower, get a guy that slightly punishes and is a good blocker on the ground alongside this dude and the Baleful. Yeah. Yeah, this deck's pretty good. I like it. Satisfied. Good threats. Good consistent threats. Good bounce or counter or removal. So decent on that front. Not super heavy hitting finishers beyond the Master of the Feast, but like I said, all flying really helps when you have stuff like Griptide and Sudden Storm. You can just find that right 2-turn opportunity to get in a couple times with a couple attackers and clean up the game. All right, yeah, I think this is definitely satisfactory. So let's check our sources. 16, 15, yeah, let's put the Temple and do an even split. I think that's going to be yeah, that's what they say as well. And I concur. All right, good deck. I think it is pretty good. We've got good interaction, good threats, good evasion. All right, I'll see you around 1.